Hey, Alyssa, this is Adrian Gomez. I am so sorry that this has fallen through the cracks, and really excited to work with you on this. So out of your throwing motion, let's see here. Let's see. Right there. So out of this back leg, that back leg is almost straight out of this back leg. So the first thing that we look at is out of our back foot. And right here, you are in about 155 degrees. And I want you to get that down to about 110. So I want you to squat out of that back half quite a bit. So that back hip needs to go down to that line at least. Along with that, you have your upper body is going to want to stay back longer. So you're separating your hands very, very early. And I want you to keep that ball and glove a little bit longer, and that's going to allow you to be able to push for a longer period of time. So power to the back leg is definitely one thing that I want you to work on. And those videos are included in the subscription, so you'll be able to see that right here. About 76 degrees out of plant leg, and so I want that to get to, ideally somewhere in there. So we need to step probably another foot and a half, maybe, foot and a half further to be able to get that angle. And what that means is the longer you step, the further you drive, the harder you're going to push with your back leg, the harder you're going to throw. So that's the concept behind it. And it works very, very well for fixing velocity. So that's one thing. Power to the back leg, huge. The angle needs to change, so your stride needs to get bigger. And we're going to look at your front knee now. Your front knee locks up really, really well, better than most. And so your angle at your front leg is actually really good, 141. So that's nothing to worry about. Okay, so pushing off longer. Okay, and power to the back leg. The angle of your back leg is going to be big. All right, let's move on up to our upper body. So as you throw a ball, your posture is up right here. This is your posture. And as you throw the ball, you still stay up, which is good. So that posture, we want to rotate around that spine, and we want to keep that posture consistent. So just remember, as you throw the ball, that's your posture. And anywhere back here, we want to keep that same posture to be able to increase the amount of rotation that we have out of our upper body. So posture's good. Let's look at release point. Right there's where it disappears, but you're throwing the ball, kind of back behind that front foot. And what that means is you're what we call an early launch, and we want to be a late launch. So we want that torso to really drive farther. We need that leg to extend, and that extension, we're going to get further and further out past our front foot. What that does is it puts a lot less stress on the arm, and then velocity goes up as well. So release point is great, or is a little bit too early, so we want to stay. The longer we can drive with our legs, the longer we can drive with our chest, the further it's going to be out and past our front foot. But I really believe that your separation, the ball separation between your glove, happens way too early. And that back arm almost stays straight, and then it comes bent. We want to make this this transition faster. So right out of the glove, we need to start pinching that back arm. So your arm is straight and I want it bent so that you can start rotating earlier. And I think that's why you shove that elbow through. You can see that elbow drop. That's why the elbow does what it does, is because your shoulder blade should have been pinched a lot earlier. So a lot of that has to do with stacking. So that's something I want you to work on, stacking your upper body over your lower body. So that back leg needs to squat better, and I think that we talked about that already. And then on top of that, your upper body needs to be stacked on top. Ball needs to be in glove for a longer period of time, and then you're able to drive everything through with your body and less with your arm. So stacking is a huge issue. Let's look at your front glove. So see how your front glove goes down? I want it to go this way, where your shoulder blade is pinching. You actually come straight down. So what that wants to do is, you have an opposite equal reaction. Your arm wants to go up, and you can see where your elbow goes. It goes straight up to be able to release that ball. If your front glove would have went this way, more rotationally, then as you're throwing, this is going to stay more on that shoulder. So you have what we call a high elbow here, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But it has a lot to do with that front glove. So that front glove is an issue. We need to make sure it's rotating in the right position, and that will help you rotate and have more stability on the front side to be able to rotate around the back side. It's like kind of like a door where the hinge of the door. If the hinge isn't really on, then the door doesn't really swing open. And by the door we mean your throwing side. So this throwing side, you have a hinge right here, a hinge right here, and it swings open. And that's the big thing that you're missing right now on the upper side. Your lower side's pretty good. Your front foot is and front knee is good. All right, so let's look at high elbow. Right here, we do have a high elbow, and that's something that I want you to pay close attention to. There are a lot of softball players that have high elbows, and baseball players as well, and they increase risk of injury. And so what we want to do is we want to be about 30 degrees lower. Right now you're sitting at about 150 degrees, but we need to bring that elbow down just a little bit. We're talking 3 or 4 inches. And when you can bring that elbow down 3 to 4 inches, instead of going up to throw the ball, you're actually going to go through to throw the ball. We want to go through that ball. So you have what we call a high elbow. Part of that's going to be this right here. Notice how your chest stops. And it's your arm that's working. It's not your body. Your arm throws the ball and not your body. So what you're seeing here, let's look at your posture. This is what we call chest extension. I'm taking a measurement off your back hip bone up to your shoulder, about 31 degrees. So you're missing quite a bit. You're missing about 4 or 5 inches with your chest extension. You need to go through the ball, just like when you hit a ball. You're going to go through the ball, and then you're going to rotate past the contact. Same thing here. I'm going to go through the ball. I'm going to rotate continuously past that. But your chest kind of stays there. Now it rotates away from it. You're having that rotational force this way, which is good, but we also want to have that directional force forward, that extension. So, chest extension, definitely an issue. And let's look at hand fly out. And I want you to work on, no arm hand fly out, that's good. So, I really want you to work on one thing at a time. Start from your lower body and work to your upper body. Okay, have a lower body day, have an upper body day. And, honestly, you'll see a huge difference in just about 2 weeks if you can just do this consistently. Throw with these drills consistently. Don't just throw to throw. Find a reason why. Pick that one reason. I'm going to work on my back leg. I'm going to work on my extension of my legs. I'm going to drive further. I'm going to have a chest drive. I'm going to have I'm going to drive through instead of coming up. I'm going to have my front glove pinch a little bit better. I'm going to have my chest drive a little bit further. So those things that we talked about, just reiterate those for yourself in your throwing, and you'll find a huge difference. So thanks so much for turning these in, and I apologize for not getting it to you sooner, and I really appreciate you guys being a part of 212 Athlete.